Hello everyone and welcome. We have here in front of us a Mazda 787B inspired vehicle that I designed. It's not exactly the same, but I used reference images to sort of build it. It's got my own personal touches on it as usual. For example, the lights in the back, it's not what it looks like in real life. Yeah. It's got some liveries on it. So for example, it's got the renowned logo, the number 55. I have some references here which I can show you. It's got the number 55 there, the renowned logo. It's got some NGK spark plugs logo there, and a couple other things. I didn't go all the way. This is the kind of liveries that we have going on. I haven't replicated it 100%. But basically in this video tutorial I'm going to be showing you guys how to basically put liveries on your 3D models, or in this specific case on your vehicles in Blender. The version I'm using is 4.4.3 I believe. Yeah, 4.4.3. Let me just close that because I don't really need that. Close it. Okay. Alright, so that's what this video is going to be about. Yeah, let's get started. So full disclosure, credit where credit is due. I learned about this from another person on YouTube called Walejaw 3D. I'll leave a link to his video in the description. But that video is a little bit old. I wanted to do something that's a little more up to date, and that's why we're doing this. Yeah, so let's start by just starting from scratch. I'll delete all these materials that we currently have going on, so I'll just delete that, make sure we're starting all the way from zero. Okay, so for this monocoque, I don't really want to delete the materials that it has going on it, because it's got a really high resolution. If I can show it to you, it's got a really high resolution, and I'd have to like select everything manually and assign the material on it all over again. I don't really want to do all that. So what I'm going to do is the following. I'll just create a little decoy. I don't know, let's call it a decoy. I'll give it a new material and I will call it a carbon monocoque. Let's give it an underscore just so we can differentiate it. You can rename it later on. I'll just do that, and then when I come here, instead of deleting all the materials, I will just replace this with the new material, which we will call carbon monocoque, if I can find it. Carbon monocoque underscore. Alright, so what that does essentially is basically what we were going to do eventually anyways, but without losing the specific way that we've assigned glass material to the faces of this mesh. There we go. Alright, let's keep doing that. I also have some glass materials on that, so I don't really want to lose it either. So I will make a copy of this. Shift D, move it along the x-axis. I will make a duplicate of this, and instead of calling it 001, I will call it carbon. Let's call it body paint. I should use better naming conventions. I am a programmer, I should know better. But whatever. Body paint rear hood. Let's call it like that, and put an underscore to differentiate it as well. Then when I come here, I will just override this with body paint rear hood. Alright, so we got rid of the body paint, which had the liveries on it. I will show you what that means in a second. Let's also start from scratch for this guy. This guy only really has one material. I'm gonna get rid of all of them because we don't really need any of them. Alright, that actually looks really good in white, huh? Yeah, okay, let's stay focused. Let's get started. Alright, let's start with the hood. First thing we gotta do is make sure that we are scaled. So if we do Shift S, sorry, I think it's Control A, and then apply the scale. Yeah, there we go. We gotta do that, and then we gotta select all the faces and UV unwrap them. Smart UV project. I think we should use a little bit of an island margin. Do that. That's ready. let's do the same for this thing. So 3. So, by the way, I have screencast keys up here, so if I'm not saying, if for whatever reason I miss out, if I miss saying what I'm doing, you can probably just also keep track of what's going on from there. But anyway, I press 3, press all.
UV unwrap, smart UV project, got some islands going on. That's handled. We do it for this guy as well. Wait, I forgot to apply the scale, didn't I? Let's do that again. It's just good behavior. It's good discipline to have these habits. Avoid problems later on. Apply scale. 3, select all faces, smart UV project, UV unwrap. Smart UV project, there we go. Unwrap them. We gotta do the same for this guy, so make sure we're applying the scale. Select all the faces, UV, smart UV project, a little bit of an island, and done.
So now we've prepped all our body panels, and let's get started with the first one. Alright, so we're going to select this object. We're going to go into, oh, we didn't give this one a new material, so let's give it a new material. Let's call it body paint hood. So I'm giving them all different names, just because I kind of don't want them, I kind of want to have separate files for all these different parts, but that depends on what your livery is like. What am I talking about? If you have a specific decal that you want stretching across different panels, in that scenario you should combine all of these different components. So this one is one component, this is another component, this is another component. You should merge them into a single mesh and then do what we're about to do. But I don't have a plan to do anything like that. I don't plan on putting a livery that needs to be consistent across the entire body. So I don't need to do that. And I prefer to have things more modular. So that's why I'm separating them and giving them separate materials. So we have one that I'm calling body paint hood. Hang on, I think the naming conventions that I am using for this video are body paint hood and an underscore at the end. Let's make sure we're following our own rule sets. Yeah. Alright, once that's done, we'll go into the texture paint section. Actually, we should be going into the shading area. And let me move this guy here. Now we're gonna get started. I'm gonna press this guy and I'm gonna press Ctrl T. And it's going to give us an image texture. It's going to set it up. Node Wrangler should be enabled by default in newer Blender versions, if I'm not mistaken. If they're not, you can just go to Edit Preferences, and if you search for Node Wrangler, yeah, it should be enabled. If it's not, you can enable it, but it's probably going to be enabled. It's a new feature that Blender did, just enabled it by default. Okay, now we have a blank image texture, blank texture essentially. It's going to be an image. This is where all your decals will be sort of stamped onto, but we need a base. So to do that, we first need to create something new. It's going to give you these options. I would recommend using good naming conventions again over here to make sure you're able to identify what's what, you know. Body paint hood, can't call it the hood. Yeah, I mean, I'm calling the rear one the rear hood. I guess I'll call this the front hood. Guys, do use better naming conventions when you're doing this. Hood, and I don't know, image. Let's call it the image. Give it a large pixel density. Resolution, not pixel density. It doesn't need to be too large in this case. I am gonna go with something like 3000 by 3000. Pick a color. Pick a color. Wow, I need to see what this looks like actually. So I'm gonna enable this.
Damn, okay, we lost it. New. Damn, okay. Body paint front hood image. Let's do that. Let's give it 2000. Let's use 4000. Yeah, let's go with 4000. 4000. Pick a color. I still can't see the color. Whatever. Make sure you pick a consistent color whenever you do this though, because you want to use the same color for everything. So You could also just go eyeball it a little bit. Well, let's do that. I'll save this somewhere. And I think we're good with that. I think these are okay. New image. Oh, okay. It gave us the color. I'm not sure I like this actually. Maybe it needs to be lighter. Can we try again? Body, paint, front, hood. Image. 4000 by 4000. Make it a bit lighter. I didn't like how dark that was. Store this hex code somewhere. I'm just copying it to my clipboard for now. I'm saying
new image. Yeah, I like this color a lot better. And I think that's how you set it up. We're about ready to begin. But we created another copy of it. I was worried about that. Okay, that's fine. But now that we've started, let's just make sure we have the same color on all the different materials.
So we have this guy, we have the carbon monochrome material that we're trying to edit, so I'll just do that, Control T. I'll add a new one. Before we do anything, I want to make sure I'm using the same color. Oh, it's using the same color by default. That's cool. Okay, that saves us some trouble. Okay, body, paint. Let's call this monochrome. I believe is how it's spelled. Image, 4000, 4000, the rest is okay. And we're ready with this guy. Let's do the same for this. We didn't create a material before, so let's create one now. Let's call it, I don't know, body paint side skirt. Body paint side skirts with an underscore. Press Ctrl D and new. By the way, we should have used a larger resolution for this part, but I guess we'll be fine. For this part, it really doesn't need to be that huge, but 4000 should be okay. Let's name this one as well. Body paint side skirt image. Okay, and lastly, the rear hood. We didn't assign a material for this guy. Let's do that as well. Okay, body paint rear hood. That's it. Okay, Control T on this guy. New. Let's give it something a bit larger, although I don't think we need it in this case anymore. But let's go with 6000. You can go up to 10,000 by the way if you can afford. If your computer is powerful enough to handle it. Mine can handle it, but I don't really want to try that right now because I'm recording as well. Yeah. Okay, so we're ready with like base materials. We may no longer need these, I believe. What was the reason we saved these to begin with? I'm not sure.
We don't need them anymore. Okay, let's start with the front hood. Now, select it. I think you should select it from the layout actually. So we'll select it, we'll go into texture paint, and this is where things actually start to happen.
I think I lost my vehicle. Oh, no we haven't. This is just it's inside here. Sorry. Okay. This is where I kept it. Alright. We're gonna do this. We're gonna start with the Dunlops. Oh, this is actually gonna be a bit of a problem actually. So what's going on is I have a cube on the outside that's kind of serving as my showroom, let's say. I'm just gonna move it if I can. Let's put it. I think it's in the world, right? Yeah, it's on the world. I'll just hide it for now. That makes life a lot easier.
Okay, so let's get started actually, finally. Let's set ourselves up looking at things dead on. We'll start from the left hand side. We're going to put on a Dunlop sticker over here. So we're going to zoom ourselves in so it's a little easier to see and see what we're doing. And we're just going to go through the next few steps. It's going to be kind of repetitive, you'll see what I mean. But you'll get the hang of it because it's so repetitive. This is what we do. You click on this area here, you click on new, and then you go into this part here, the texture properties, and you click on open. This is where you load in your PNG file image that you actually want to like stamp on. So the Dunlop sticker, for example, is actually stored, it should be stored somewhere on your computer as a PNG file with transparency. That's very important. So we're just going to open those. I have them already set up here. Liveries.
I'm gonna look for the Dunlop logo. Dunlop, come on. Can't be that hard. Have to NK Dunlop. If you hover on this, it will show you the logo. There we go, that's the one. So I'll open that.
It's going to load it up, but we need to do a few more things to this before we actually get started. So that looks okay. You need to change this to you need to go back to this section actually. Change it from view plane to stencil so that you can, like, it loads up as a ghost, let's say, over here. It's a little bit warped, by the way, the dimensions, or the ratio. I forgot what those things are called. I'll just fix it by clicking on image aspect, and then it just fixes it. Now, as you can see, it's located in not the best position. the way to fix this is with the right click on your mouse. All the adjustments you want to do on the stencil itself, you generally do it with the right click on your mouse. So I'll just click and drag it. My screencast keys stopped showing, didn't they? Okay, that sucks. Okay, I'll just walk you through this. So right click and drag moves it around. Shift, right click, like hold shift, hold right click and move it. Just kind of scales it. So that should help you sort of get yourself navigating.
We'll put it somewhere like this. I'm not really gonna put in the logo part, but only the text part, so I'm just gonna sort of fix myself in that way. I think that's a good size. I'll make it bigger, why the hell not? Okay, I'm gonna put it in there. Maybe I want to zoom in and make it a bit bigger, actually. Okay, I'm gonna put it like this, a bit smaller. You don't have to be too precise.
But do be aware of mirroring properties of what you're gonna do on the other side. So keep that in mind while you're pasting this on this side. If you scroll to the top here, you can adjust, like right now this is a soft brush, which means it's got like soft blurry edges. I want to change that to something that's a bit harder. You can pick it and fall off, I believe. I'll go with constant. So that's like a hard brush, and I'll just like, what do I mean by hard brush? So for example, if you see the boundary that I'm painting with, right, it's stiff, it's like hard, there's no like gradual fall off. If I turn it into something like spherical, what's going to happen is, as you can see, there's like a gradual smoothening going on, like it's radiating out almost and dying out towards the edge of the circle. I don't want that kind of behavior, so I'm gonna set it to constant, which is just like a hard stamp, and I'm just gonna do that, and that's pretty much what I want. That's one side, and now I'll just click on this button so it takes us to the other side.
I'll probably need to adjust it a little bit again, but just to keep an eye and see what we're doing. I'll move it away. It's got a little bit of a gap over there. Definitely, the P definitely extends beyond this line a little bit. So this is what I mean, like when I said you should keep an eye on how you're positioning things. You have some kind of rough estimate or like finger estimates to know where you're positioning your stickers. It doesn't have to be precise. Or at least, I mean, if you want it to be precise, you should find other ways to know how. Yeah, there must be a way. I don't know what the way is, but right now I'm just doing it by like just eyeballing it. Yeah, so there was almost an entire letter behind that line, so I'll do that again. I'll let the D go a little bit beyond that line and give it a little more space over there. That's good. I'm gonna do this and just gonna stamp it on all over like this, and that should be that's it.
Like you've already done one of them. So if we come back to the layout and we come and check it out, we can see that it's there. It looks great. Now we're just gonna do this again and again for the next few minutes. Yeah, actually click on this again, go back to
your texture paint. Now we want to change the stencil that we're using. To do that, just clear this out. So I'll just hit on cross, I'll click new. Go back up here, go back down there and open. References, liveries. I want the Mazda logo itself, so I already have one somewhere here. This one, Mazda PNG. Yeah, that's the one. I'll open that, that looks really good. I want to paste this on from the top over the wheel arch over here. So let's just follow the steps all over again. Go back up here, fix the aspect, and that fixes it. You can rotate things by right clicking and dragging. I think it was control. Hold control, hold the right click button and rotate it. But because we want an exact 90-degree rotation, the way you can do that is from here. So I'll just turn that to a 90-degree rotation, and that gives me a good position of where I want this to. Sorry, my bad. I want to put it here, not here. I was thinking about the original image. But really this is where I want to put it. So I'm going to do that, set it down here. Let's just zoom in a little. Yeah, I used the wrong keys. Mixing up my shortcuts. Let's do it like this. I like how that looks. I'll just put it up there, and yeah, let's put it down right in the middle. Yeah, and just start brushing over it. And that's it, we're done. Alright, let's take a look at what we have. There, showed up, looking good. Maybe I want to move it closer towards the wheel arch actually, so I'll just go back in there. Luckily they enabled undo options on this. And yeah, that undid it, so I'll just move it. Apparently you couldn't undo things before. You'd have to like look for an eraser, which I actually couldn't figure out for some weird reason, but they enabled the undo function, which is really nice. I'm just going to move it down here, paint it all over again, and we'll take a quick look at the fruit of our labor. And it's looking good. Okay, now that that's done, you're just going to keep doing that for pretty much every stencil that you have. So the only thing you need to keep in mind is you should like have the item that you're trying to stencil, to paint, selected, from the layout option, from the layout tab, and then go into the texture paint. So that's what we're going to do. Now we're on the texture paint side. I think I want to start from this side. I want to put in the Renault logo from here. So I'm going to kill this guy, click on new, go in there, and click on open. And references, liveries, raw. I want the Renault logo. I need to see, I think that's the one I want. Let me see what this guy is. Yeah, this is the one I want, right? Yeah. Open that image, go back up there, set the aspect, image aspect. We can see it here. And I'm just going to place it like here. I think that's a good place for it to be, though I could make it bigger. Yeah, let's make it bigger. So the nice thing about this is it works like a projection. So even though there's like an edge going on like that, it just sort of projects it appropriately. Math, right? Okay, so it just does that, and we're going to put this all over on from this side, and just to be sure, we're going to go on to the other side and do the same. Let me just check a thing real quick. Yeah, okay. I need to move it. Oh, it's hard to see actually from here. I see. Okay, so it looks like we're going to be somewhere around there, and just paint it on. Yeah, we're painting, and let's check the fruit of our labor. And it's there, it's not very visible because it's dark and black, so I'm just going to drag this guy a little bit towards this side so you can see it a little better. Yeah, that looks cool. Yeah, looking good. I don't believe we had any other stickers on here except for the number 55. Oh, we had the number 55. Let's put the number 55 on. Let's go into texture paint again. Let's kill this guy. Actually, could we skip all these steps and just kill it from here? No, I think you gotta do it from here. Yeah. So I'm just gonna do that. Click on new. Go up in here, open an image. References, liveries, raw. I want the number 55. I already have it set up here, so I'm going to click on that. Fix the image aspect from here. Image aspect, we got it. Scale it down because that's just too big. Okay, I'm going to put it here because I liked how that looked. But let's go to this side because the shading on from this side is a little hard to see. So I'll do it from here instead and then just duplicate the logic. I'm going to try and use this as my reference line so I kind of know where I'm at. But I want a little bit more space around. I'll put it a little bit in front over here. Okay. So a little bit like that. Okay, let's align this line with this line there. And then we'll make sure this aligns with that screw. And I just paint. Do the same on the other side. Let's see. We're trying to align this line with this line. And bottom screw going across as the underscore. Okay, that works. That's done. Actually, you know what? Just to save time, let's give this a try. It might be actually beneficial. Kill that. Click on open. References. Liveries raw. I have something called focus, but wait, is it the one I want? Not actually sure. I think I had a better one. Transparent logo, shock surgeon, cam focus. I think this is the one. Yeah. Let's load that guy up. It's a little bit warped, but I kind of like how it's warped, so I'll just... Actually, no, I'm not sure I like how it's warping. It's not going to work for me. Okay, let's fix the image aspect. Let's go back up there. Fix the image aspect. We're back on track. Scale that. This actually looks worse. Okay, I remember what I did last time. I kind of did it very, very manually. Like, in a very hacky way. So I did something like that. Painted on half of this. So I'll put that there. Brush this guy on. And then drag this over here. And then brush this side on. Yeah, that's what we did. Let's go on to the other side and do the same. Drag this guy up here. Brush on half of it. Drag it over. And brush on the other side as well. And there we go. I think we also were supposed to put it up over here, so I'm just going to do that real quickly. We should probably load the other one first. Yeah, should have done that first. The efficiency. Problems with efficiency. Really bad planning tire. Alright, did you fix the image aspect? Because it looks okay, it looks okay. Scale it up, maybe. Brush that on. Oh, we need to select the other guy. Okay, so see, that's why this is important. Select this guy, then go into texture paint, and then brush, and then you can brush it on. That's fixed. Let's kill it. New. Go to this section here. Open the focus. Can we focus? Yeah. Open that. Fix the image aspect, and we're gonna just go in and fix this real manually, like this, like so. Do that. Drag it down. This is in no way a very precise way of doing it, but it gets the job done. You can also undo if it didn't work out as planned. I will try this again. Yeah, that looks about right. Is that too far off? I think that was too far off. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, so that handles that. Let's do a quick check on the fruit of our labor. That looks really, really good. Okay, those are those.
Let's add a halftone. I think that's the most fun part, right? Putting the halftone on this side. By the way, kind of tricky to make sure it's aligned both on the left and right side, but eyeballing it. Let's give it a go. Let's go back into texture paint load up.
This side. Let's start from the other side. I'm a bit biased in that way. I prefer looking at my vehicles with the front being towards the left. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna put in a half tone over here, so we do this all over again. Kill this guy. Create new. Load up. References. Liveries raw. Half tone. I have it prepared. Yeah. Alright, make sure we fix the image aspect. Fix that. Scale it up. We need it a bit. Control and right click to arrange however it is that you want to arrange this. I think I want to scale it up a bit more. Yeah, let's do that.
For this specific stencil, I will change my fall off to something smooth. Why? Because I only want the paint to affect this a section of this quarter panel, and I don't want it to like project it onto like this area. So if my brush stroke accidentally like does end up extending beyond the panel that I wanted to brush on or stamp on, I at the very least want it to like fade away rather than have like a really obvious hard edge. So that's why I'm setting the fall off to something smooth. Maybe I want something even smoother. Smoother. Okay, it's called smoother. And now I'm just gonna start like brushing it. Luckily, so this is like a good reason to have things modular. When I brush on this guy, if my brush stroke ends up going here, it's fine because that's not the active component, right? We have separate materials for them, so it's not gonna affect us.
So now let's just begin. I'm gonna start with this area. I'm okay with it sort of leaking in there, but as I reach the top, I want to make sure I'm fading. I want to make sure I'm following the contours, the shoulder contours of the vehicle itself. So I'm gonna like stick with that. I think I'm gonna be a bit braver and go a bit higher up, and just gently brush, just cover these areas up. We're good with that, and we can reduce the size of our brush here as well if you want like more fine-tuned control. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that. I think we should reduce this even further. Let's go further, and yeah, just watch what you're doing basically. Is there a way we can change the hardness of this? Yeah, I don't want to mess with those at the moment because I haven't tried it first myself, so I'll just stick with the parts that I have tried and tested. Yeah, I like how that looks, right? Yeah, just be wary of how you're fading things away. Yeah, I think this part needs a little bit more love. Yeah, that's how we do that. It probably looked more complicated when I first showed it to you, but it's actually not. Okay, let's keep doing that. Let's keep doing that, sort of. Yeah, okay. And we just do the same thing we did before. Just brush on that. Follow the shoulder contour of your vehicle, but make sure you don't reach the end before you're aware of how much you're fading it off. It's really important. And then these parts I'm okay with it, just like having a hard cut off. But for this part, I need to like kind of make sure it's just gently going up in that direction. There we go. And yeah, I'm happy with that. I think I might actually just brush stamp that area. Okay, that's that. Let's check the fruit of our labor again. Here we go. That's what we have. Looking good, looking real good. And last but not least, we're going to do the same thing for this area. We had some NK and NGK spark plug stickers here. Decals. I call them stickers, sometimes I call them decals. It's whatever. Yeah, let's keep going. Go back into texture paint, get rid of this guy, load up a new one. Open. References, liveries. I have them all named already, NK blue.
Luckily, okay, so this is a really nice accidental feature. So I usually grab my stencils from the internet, but I don't know if you've tried this, but looking for PNG files, actual PNG files with like a transparency alpha layer is really difficult. I found that the way to save time is to just download an image, whether it's transparent or not. If it has the colors you're looking for, just download it and then use Photoshop. I use GIMP because I'm using Ubuntu. I use GIMP to like just delete the background. I did the same thing for a lot of these stencils that I'm using. I made my own PNG files, made them transparent myself because it was just really hard to find readily available transparent PNG files online, which are actually transparent. Just make them transparent yourself. It's just a few YouTube videos that you can check and do it. I did that with this NK logo, and lucky it's a nice feature, but like it ended up giving me some grunge on the sides. I kind of like that, so I'm keeping that. I actually kind of used it as well.
So we're going to continue doing that. Let's go here. reset the rotation, fix the image aspect. Is that flipped around? Yeah, because of this guy. Okay. And we're just gonna set it up over here. I believe we did something like this. Yeah, I did something like that. Don't want it to be too big, but yeah. And brush. And done. You can use this, by the way. I kind of used it, but let's do this thing first. Do it on the other side. Set it up real nice. Let's do that. And now that I have those, if I want to, I can use the grunge that I have going on here. It looks really cool, I think. Oh fuck. Okay. Yeah, it's a nice little feature. Kill that. Open up a new one. Go down here. Open up something else. References, liveries. I have an NGK. Spark. What's this? A knot. I think this is white, I guess. Okay. What happens with the other one? I'm not actually sure what the other one was. Let me check that guy. References, NGK. I think it's just a bit... It's not a PNG, that's the issue. Alright, let's stick with this one. Liveries raw, NGK, not. Fix the image aspect up here. And adjust. Scale it down, scale it up. Align it to what you want. I went with something like that. And just brush. And done for this side. Flip it over. And brush it onto this side. Okay, that's it. Let's check the fruit of our labors layout.
Let's have a quick look. There is one thing, don't leave yet, there is one important thing I need to mention before we all bounce. Yeah, I'll get to it in a second. If you close this, you're gonna lose your files. You're gonna lose all your liveries. So just stick around. We're done. We're done with all the livery doing. You can obviously add more or less depending on what you want. This is where I will stop actually. And now the really important part. If you click on save, Control S, you don't actually save the image textures that you've just created. You need to actually do something a bit more manual. So you have to do that, unfortunately, yourself. So to do that, just click on this and go into the texture paint. When you see this part, it has an asterisk on it. Like no matter how many times you click on Control S, I'm hitting it right now, it's not going to save that image texture. So just yeah, so you got to save them. So as you can see, this is where it ended up saving. Like this is how it ended up stamping your text, your stencils, all your decals, and you need to save this offline into a separate PNG file. Because what Blender does, or how it works, is when your files are loaded, when your mesh is loaded, it loads this image file as well, and it knows how it wraps around your actual mesh, and that's how it does it. Let's do that. Let's go in there. Image, save as. I will make assets. I will make a new folder. Call it texture paints tutorial. Okay, and this is why it's nice to have naming conventions. Body paint monocoque image.png. Okay, that's okay. I can just go on and continue. Click save. Then I will go over back to here.
Click on the monocoque. Go back to texture paint. I should save this, but it didn't save as. Body paint monocoque image. Hang on, just a second. I think something went wrong. Click on this, go to texture paint, image, save as. It's not the monocoque. This is just the front hood. Okay, that's a bit interesting. Yeah, body paint front hood image. That's okay, right? Save as image. Okay, it's misbehaving, but okay. I'll do that. Go there. When texture paint, image, save as. I think we already saved it. That's why it's already here. But just to be safe, I'll overwrite it. Do the same for the side skirt. Go there, go into texture paint, image, save as, body paint side skirt image, save that, go back to layout, click on the rear hood, image, save as, oh, we didn't give this a name, okay, body paint rear hood image, alright, save it.
And now it's safe, so so now I'm going to close this file, trusting that it's going to work. And I'm gonna click it all over again. References, Mazda. But this is the file we've been working on, livery tutorial. This is my original one. Oh, sorry, it's this one. Gonna load it up and take a looky and see. Yes, our images, our livery is loaded up quite nicely. It looks good. I would try and use a softer fall off, by the way, because this looks like the brush looks like it's really hard. You gotta be wary of stuff like this when you're trying to do fall offs, but I think it's okay for now. Let's look at my world. I had an environment with lighting and everything, just so that we can see this better. I'm just gonna move my face over to the side. There we go. Yeah, so that's how we do it, guys. Hope this video was useful. If you found it useful, please like, share, subscribe.